All right, Paul Sponcia. I'm the CEO of the IT company, and I'm with, I guess, one of the people I've known the longest in my life. So, we're from the same little small hometown nestled in Upper East Tennessee. So this is Kent Cunningham. He is actually a Microsoft employee. So Kent, you can introduce yourself and tell people what you do.
I started out on the same street as Paul. I'm the Chief Technology Officer for the Federal Civilian Government business at Microsoft. It's been a fun time these past couple of weeks, as you can imagine, helping customers adjust to our temporary yet new normal.
So, I'd just love for you to talk a little bit about how does Microsoft leverage its own technology, to communicate and collaborate and to work, and to the extent that you can talk about how your customers are leveraging it as well. I'd love to hear some of those that would benefit people that listen to this to say, oh, that's how I could use that.
Right. So we are clearly and absolutely an eat your own dog food organization. As a matter of fact, the early beta program at Microsoft used to be called Dog Food, and you would sign up for a service as things rolled out. I guess because I don't know, but they changed the name of that. But I loved the name Dog Food back when it was around. We use Teams absolutely every single day. We use it for a variety of ways. During this time, I've seen more and more people turn their video on, which is refreshing because we know through years and years of study that facial impressions and expressions and just knowing that you're looking at me through the video makes me pay attention, which is important as we're collaborating. We use this for document creation so that we can have multiple users editing a document at a single time, right? So that we're not emailing documents around. We use this so that we have mobile access to documents. We use our data loss prevention tools to make sure that those documents don't wind up in platforms that they shouldn't be, right? I don't want customer documents or internal documents winding up in the wrong platform or in the wrong hands, being emailed around inappropriately. We hold all of our internal town halls on this type of meeting. We have, for example, next week, our team was hoping to have an offsite, and that offsite, as you can imagine, is now offsite in everyone's homes. And will be connected via Teams. So it's a fantastic tool for us to be able to do that type of thing. It allows a fair amount of inclusion for those that might not be able to travel for health reasons or personal reasons. I don't know if you've seen it, but there's also now closed captioning being rolled out into the platform. So for those with disabilities and so forth, and even the option now in the tool to do things like raise your hand, which is great on a meeting. I'm sure you've been in a meeting before when there's 35 or 40 people and everyone's saying, hey, wait, I have something to say. Now just to be able to raise your hand or have a chat dialogue and have those discussions in the background is really important to us. So
that capacity, I know I don't have it in my tenant yet. Is that something that, is that, I guess that's a staggered rollout that's going on tenant by tenant?
It is, and some of those features, for example, even like the closed captioning and the background change are things that have been announced and coming in pipelines, but the background change, I believe, began going live for everyone just yesterday.
Well, I see that you have a different background.
Right, so I'm clearly not actually in this building. So there's an option for me to say apply background effects, and I can choose a variety of pictures, or I can upload my own. Right, so I could say apply and look like I'm here, or apply and suddenly it looks like I'm at the lake. Right, so we have options for these types of things because where I really am is just in a room with a plain wall behind me. But I might be in a room that has some distractions, or we're always on conference calls where I see dogs walking in or kids walking in or family members going by. And it just helps to minimize distractions and put you back in what feels like a professional atmosphere so that we can get down to the work we're trying to do.
It just makes it kind of fun, and it takes the boredom away, and it provides, I think a lot of people, I know that customers I've talked to have worried about, productivity and this thing and that thing. But there is something kind of, one thing that one of our people did really well is they created a hashtag called Remote Life inside of one of our chats. They created a chat called Remote Life. And she asked, one of our employees, she asks a question every day and says, post GIFs that will, that relate to whatever thing that she said. And it's just fun. It gives people a chance to connect, to interact, to kind of move away from we're disconnected. and it allows people to reconnect. So even I think, a message to people is don't feel like people are going to play and not get worked. It's actually good. It's actually healthy to change your background and to have some of these things go on.
Yeah, and it's nice as we're all cooped up in our house to sometimes just see a different picture.
Yeah.
It's funny because I put that picture of my backyard up, but sometimes it's nice just to be in a room and still remember there is an outside. Everything from video monitoring to people building applications inside of Teams to chatbots deployed inside of Teams to answer questions. There's a case study that was actually published where a gentleman actually wrote a chatbot inside of Teams and then announced to everyone that it was someone new he had hired and just wanted to see how long it would be before people realized it was not an actual person. But there's a variety of things like that. But the option just to be able to collaborate so quickly with internal and external people, be able to do that in an environment that's fully encrypted in rest and in transit, and be able to do that inside the US if you want to choose those options and go for one of those clouds, really takes it to an enterprise level where people can not just use this for a chat conversation, but use this literally as an enterprise business tool with things like Planner to get things done, Stream to save and record and even translate conversations. Just the capability to do that. I mean, it's one simple case study. I know of an example where an organization was spending a fair amount of money simply to send out live presentations and get them translated and transcribed for multiple languages before they could post them on a website. Well, with Stream and with Teams, you can do that as part of the platform and record the session, have it translate to multiple languages, and do keyword search so that you can search a video for that keyword in a particular time and do that in your own language. Right? And so there's a variety of instances where I know organizations have leveraged such a thing to improve their productivity and drive down their costs. So there's just great stories. And that's the fun part of being in technology, right? You can create these tools, but then when you put that in the power of people's hands, the things that they do with it will blow your mind.